This is a true story, and it made me realize that if you feel like you're getting stalked, if you think you're getting stalked, you probably are. Enjoy. I think I'm being stalked. If I've learned anything from reading these stories on Reddit, if you think you're being stalked, there's a good chance you probably are. I've been working at a supermarket close to my home for 4 months now, and 3 weeks ago, while I was manning the register, a guy I've never seen in this area before came to check out. I don't know his name, so I'm gonna call him Carl. Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, if I was to have to name some random person that was checking out at a supermarket, Carl seems like a pretty accurate name to use. Carl, Jim, Jeff, yeah, any of those three would work perfectly. Carl had very loud music playing from his headphones, which were around his neck, and I recognized the song. So, trying to be friendly, I started up a conversation while scanning his items. He was slurring a bit while talking, but generally seemed nice, recommended me some other bands, and left. So far so good. I thought nothing of this. He's a 40-ish year old man who was probably just passing by, and I live in a quiet, friendly town. I didn't think I'd ever see him again. I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing a lot of Carl, maybe too much of Carl. I have a feeling that Carl might think that you were trying to be a little bit more than friendly. Carl might be a little strange, a little awkward, a little socially inept, and now Carl might think that you like him, or maybe Carl just really likes you. I don't know, but I know we're going to be seeing more of Carl. I didn't think I'd ever see him again until 30 minutes later. Like I said, we're gonna be seeing a lot of Carl. He walks back into the store with one of those old photo cameras around his neck and keeps standing around the register, facing me while I'm working. Then he grabs some chocolate from the shelves close by and comes to check out. I don't really say anything this time and just scan the chocolate. He's standing there holding his camera at his chest with one hand and angling it directly at me. Then asks for a pack of batteries we keep behind a display. Yeah, dudes that try to take pictures of women without them knowing, that is some of the creepiest behavior I've ever heard of in my entire life. And by reading some of these stories, some of these true stories, it seems like it happens kind of frequently. And I didn't know that that was like, I'm gonna be real with you. As a man, I feel uncomfortable reading these stories when women are talking about men secretly taking pictures of them. It's like, I get it if you're a celebrity and you see people like secretly taking pictures of you, because then it's not like a, I mean, it is a creepy way, but it's not as in like the same type of creepy way. It's in like a, oh, I want to show my friends that I saw, I don't know, Zendaya out at the airport or something. But like when you're just some random lady, some random girl working behind a cash register and some man is taking pictures of you, like what? The intentions behind those secret pictures is so much darker and creepier and more disturbing than like, I guess, paparazzi or some random person secretly taking a picture of some celebrity. I don't get it. And it is so gross. He's standing there holding his camera at his chest with one hand and angling it directly at me. Then asks for a pack of batteries we keep behind a display. So I go over to the display. He follows me and continues angling the camera at me while I'm down under the glass trying to get his batteries. I think it's fair to say, sir, just please don't take pictures of me. I don't feel comfortable with that. And then just see what he does with that hand that is holding and angling that camera. I think that's a fair request. Or if you wanted to, I guess you could make it much more awkward and be like, sir, are you taking pictures of me? See what his reaction would be then. I go back, scan the batteries, and he insists I keep the chocolate? Bro, what? This guy might have a mental condition. I'm being honest. He might have a mental condition. He comes up here, he purchases chocolate, and then he tells you that you can keep the chocolate. Is that like some type of gift? Some weird gift? Does he think you're on a date now? I don't know what's going, but I think this guy might have a mental condition. He insists I keep the chocolate. No matter how much I decline and say I'm not allowed to accept gifts, I am, but he doesn't need to know that. He just leaves the chocolate on the conveyor and walks out. Just so we're on the same page here, this is in fact the chocolate that he literally just purchased from you before he mentioned that he also needed help getting some batteries. What a strange move, my brother. What a strange move indeed. You know, I've heard of some strange moves before. You've seen it in movies, like someone will accidentally, bump into you. Oh, I've dropped my bag. Now we both have to bend over and pick up all the stuff that's in my bag. Like, oh, now we lock eyes. Like, that's a slick move, if you're in the movies at least. Buying a piece of chocolate and then gifting that chocolate to the lady that you are infatuated with that in fact works at that cash register. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that move. I don't think that's such a slick move. I don't think that's gonna get her where you want her. Nah. I'm ranking that one like a 1.2 out of 10. The next day, he does the same thing. Buys me chocolate, insists I keep it, leaves. And then the next day too. Neither of those days did I really reply to him or try to spark conversation because at that point I felt unsafe and honestly a little insane. I told my coworkers and my mom about it. I'm 19 and still living with her, and they all told me I should be flattered. Nah, I think you need some new coworkers and maybe even a new mother. No, bro is 40 years old, coming into the store every single day and buying you chocolate. I wouldn't be flattered. No, I'd be creeped out. No, you need new coworkers and you need a new mother. I had 2 days off after this and stayed home crocheting and playing video games. Honestly, a 19-year-old staying home to crochet is crazy to me. What? You must be like the most wholesome girl ever born in the history of humanity. Oh my God, what a wholesome hobby for a 19-year-old. When I was 19 years old and I had a day off of like going to school or working or anything like that, I think my entire day just consisted of getting as drunk as possible and then finding some type of insane social gathering at that night. Raves, house parties, I don't know, wherever the most drugs were. And now I'm not advocating for that at all. Your hobby is much better than mine, but just like, wow. Oh. You make me want to be a better person. I had 2 days off after this and stayed home crocheting and playing video games. When I went back to work, he showed up again, this time with his phone. He bought a ton of stuff and then shoved his phone in my face, like he was trying to hand it to me. I'm confused and asked why he's giving me his phone, and he replies that he wants to leave it there to charge. I feel kind of bad. I feel like this person has a mental condition. I feel like this is the type of person that is usually out in like a grocery store or in a social setting with a chaperone. I feel like this person is not supposed to be out there alone. But either way, what you do is you 100% say that you're not allowed to do that. No, I'm not leaving my phone here. That's bad. That's bad news bears. I don't know what come from holding on to this creepy man's phone, but it's nothing good. I promise you that nothing good comes from that phone. This creepy man's phone who's been buying you chocolate for the past few days, nothing good comes from that man's phone being around you for long periods of time. No bueno. You say, sir, I appreciate the chocolates. Sir, I appreciate how nice you are. Sir, I appreciate you taking secret photos of me when I'm not looking. But this is where this ends. This is where our relationship comes to its final resting place. I will not hold on to your phone. Goodbye. You know, as a matter of fact, there's other people here that work and they also man these cash registers. And I think it's time you go say hi to one of them. Peace. He replies that he wants to leave it there to charge. I said we can't do that, but he's free to buy a charger from the store and charge it somewhere else. He keeps insisting and almost starts yelling over it. Yeah, no, peace, sayonara, I'm getting the manager. I will not be scolded in the grocery store by some creepy man trying to hand me his phone after he's been taking secret pictures of me and buying me chocolate for the past few days, who's twice my age. No. It's manager time. And hopefully your manager is not one of those people that was saying you should be flattered by this 40-something-year-old man buying you frickin' chocolates. I call over my okay, good. Yep, see? That's what I said. A good job. I'm actually very proud of this girl. Thank you. I call over my manager, who tells him to leave and then stays at the register for a few minutes to give me a second to breathe and go drink some water. Honestly, this seems like a pretty good manager. I've read some freaking horror stories, reading all these Reddit stories, some horror stories of managers that do not care about the people that work under them. This manager at least seems to care. The next day, I'm working again. He stops by, doesn't say anything to me, and walks out. Soon after, A local comes to the register and says some guy in his 40s is hanging out back and asks if he's meant to be there. I ask them to describe him, and it's the same guy. It's Carl. But also, like, who notices a guy hanging out around a grocery store and, like, reports him? This must be a really small town. I think that the OP did actually mention that she lives in a small, quiet town. I'm gonna say I live in downtown Nashville, and every single grocery store, every single gas station, every single store in general has at least 3 or 4 freaking 40-year-olds just hanging out all day, every day. Yeah, that would never get brought up in conversation to the person working the cash register. Never. I tell my manager that at this point, I'm legitimately scared. And she again tells me it's probably nothing and he's just some hobo with nothing better to do. Then I have 4 days off. On my 3rd day off, I go out to walk my dog. Oh, please do not tell me that Carl found out where you lived and he's about to be watching you while you're out walking your dog on a day off. Oh no, I just got the chills putting myself in your situation and thinking about it. If that's the case, I think it's time Carl met the Popo. I'm just gonna say it. I think it's about time Carl met the Popo. The Popo had been called for less, especially in quiet, nice, friendly small towns. The police have nothing better to do, so like, yeah, you better call them and just like give them some entertainment at this point. On my 3rd day off, I go out to walk my dog. I'm only around my apartment building. I don't go further than that little cluster of buildings in my area that nobody has any business being in unless they live there or are visiting someone. And I see him. Yep, time for that friendly neighborhood call to your local Popo. Like, this also makes me think, like, how did he find where you lived? How is that even possible? Does Carl have a car? Did he follow you after you left to go home? Did he somehow, like, put a tracker into your backpack, into your pants, into your clothing or something? Did he put a tracker in the chocolate? Oh, imagine someone's like tracking your chocolate. That's crazy. That is sinister. That is mean. I will say that people putting trackers like on your car is actually a real thing. At least it used to be real, but now I believe that your iPhone, your smartphone will alert you if someone, or if there is a, like a, oh my God, what are those things called? An Apple AirTag. If there is one of those things that has been like found to be like following you around. Yeah, it'll alert you. Like, my girlfriend put an Apple tag on my dog, and when she first put it on there, it was, I think, my Apple phone, my iPhone. Why am I unable to say iPhone? Or it alerted me that there was like an AirTag that had been like track or following my location for a while, and I had to like say it was okay because it was like one that I was aware of. But either way, that is something you should always be aware of, especially as a woman. That shit is creepy as hell, and it is real. And I see him. I see Carl standing around with the children at the playground in the middle of these houses. Oh, police now. Police need to be there in less than 5 freaking minutes. Or Spider-Man or Batman, freaking Hulk for all I care in this matter. Get someone over there to take care of Carl. I also don't think the name Carl does this man justice anymore. Carl is too much of a basic name, like a basic standard, not anything super creepy or egregious about him type name. This man needs to be named like Ted or Jeffrey. This sounds like a Jeffrey to me. Yeah, I'm thinking either Ted or Jeffrey or like maybe a Ronald or a Donald. No, scratch that. Didn't mean to make this political. This man just needs to be named Jeffrey now. Oh, God, this is so creepy. I see Carl standing around with the children at the playground in the middle of these houses. I immediately go to visit my neighbor, who's also my mom's friend, instead of going home because I don't want him to know exactly where I live if he didn't already. Yo, honestly, y'all know if you watch a lot of these videos that look, I always say, this person's got the survival instincts of a freaking panda bear. No, this OP does not have the survival instincts of a panda bear. This OP has real survival instincts. She knew something was up with Carl immediately. She did not go home immediately because she does not want Carl to think that she lives where she does in fact live. She wants Carl to think that she in fact lives at her neighbor's house, so her neighbor can deal with the repercussions and consequences of this creepy, insane, freaking knowing or thinking that is the house that Carl in fact wants to be in. God, this guy's creepy. She tells me to call the non-emergency line. So I do. Actually, that's a good call. That's a good call. Because if they, in fact, do deem it to be an emergency or something that's worthy of them investigating or checking out immediately, they'll pass it on and have cops come out. Yeah, that's brilliant. Honestly, bravo. Good work, team. So I do. And they essentially tell me that I don't really have proof and they can't do anything, kind of implying that unless I actually get hurt, he's just some random regular guy and I'm being, paranoid. Yeah, I changed my mind. I said it was a good call to call it the non-emergency line, but I take it back, and I'm going to tell you why I take it back. About a year ago, me and my girlfriend were driving back from my hometown of Louisville to where I now live in Nashville, Tennessee, and it was pouring rain. It was like 2 a.m. and there was a truck behind us. I was driving and there was a truck behind us. Now, mind you, it is pouring rain to the point where people have like their emergency blinkers on and everything. It is terrifying. You can't see shit. And it's basically just my car out there and a ton of semis. That's it. It's 2 a.m. And then a pickup truck comes up behind us. And we're in the fast lane, yes, mind you, but we're going like the speed limit when everyone else is going below the speed limit with their blinkers on because you can't see shit. And this pickup truck comes behind us, starts riding my ass right behind me, and then starts blaring their brights. So I can't see anything already because it is pouring rain, right? And then I can't see anything, especially now because this asshole behind me in this big old pickup truck is blaring his brights in my freaking mirrors, obviously telling me to get out this way. But like, dude, chill. I'm going a little over the speed limit in the pouring rain when everyone else has their blinkers on. So what do? I pass up the semi that's here, right? The semi is here, right here, so I can't get over immediately. But I speed up a little bit more, I eventually get past the semi, and then I merge over to the other lane. This guy turns off his brights, obviously, he starts flying past me, and what do? I give him this, right? Because like, that's an asshole move, right? You're about to cause me to wreck in the pouring rain. That's an asshole move. I do this. What does he do? He pulls out in front of me and slams on his brakes when there is a semi behind me in the pouring freaking rain. I guess this guy had I had a little bit of road rage, right? Which is why I gave him the finger. This guy had mega road rage because he was trying to get me killed. So that's what he does. That's insane, right? So I have to slam on my brakes. The semi behind me slams on their brakes. We all come to a dead stop, right? And so then I pull around him and start just driving off. I'm like, I gotta get the hell away from this guy. What the hell? This guy almost just got me freaking killed, right? So I pull away. The guy pulls up right next to me. And once again, and then he rolls down his windows. And I roll down mine. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And he's like, pull the fuck over, bitch. And I was like, nah, bro, I'm not going to do that. And it's just like some probably 38-year-old hillbilly looking guy in a big old pickup truck. And I was like, nah, fuck you, bro. Give him the finger again. This dude whips out a gun and points the gun at me. So my girlfriend calls the non-emergency line, reports his license plate number, says that he did all this stuff, literally almost got us killed, road raging, almost got us smashed by a freaking semi, then pulled out a gun. And they're like, okay, thanks, we'll make note of it. I'm like, that's all you're going to do? That's all you're going to do? You're gonna make a note of it. You're gonna put that in your little system as a note. Wow, thank you so much for keeping us all safe. So I take back everything I freaking said. Calling the non-emergency line in this situation is a terrible idea because they never do anything. They never do anything. I bet they did the exact same thing here that they did for me when I almost got freaking shot on the street or killed by a freaking semi because of one person. We're gonna make a little note of it. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. And they essentially tell me that I don't really have proof and they can't do anything, kind of implying that unless I actually get hurt, he's just some random regular guy and I'm being paranoid. And now I've been called in sick from work for a week because I'm terrified of showing up and him being there, following me home, maybe already knowing where I live or breaking in while I'm gone. I don't know. I feel like you should still be going to work. I feel like that's not a good enough reason to go into work. I feel like you need to go into work and then just be somewhat vigilant of this creepy Carl man. Yeah. You can't let his actions so far, and I emphasize so far, you can't let his actions so far completely change the way that you are living your life. I understand why you'd be a little bit paranoid, but I feel like that is a little unwarranted. You should still be going into work. And then also by going into work, if he continues to do weird stuff, then the police will have more of a reason to actually take action. Not trying to say you should be like bait or anything, but I think that you should be going into work. Let me know if you disagree, but that's what I would say. Everyone around me is saying I'm anxious or that I have no proof he took photos of me, but you don't angle your camera at people like that casually. He was very poorly hiding the fact that he was taking photos of me. He had no business being around my house. He had no business buying me so many chocolates. Imagine trying to tell the cops that though. Like, what is your complaint against this man? How do you know that he is creeping on you and stalking you? Well, sir, he bought me chocolates 3 days in a row. Like, I understand why this guy would be making you feel uncomfortable, but I do feel like you're being a little too much right now, a little too anxious about it. I feel like you have to continue living your life. And if something else happens, then I think you have a reason to be concerned. But as of right now, it's strange, but it's not to that level of strange, in my opinion. And he had no business getting aggressive with me over not being able to leave his phone at my workplace to charge. I feel crazy for thinking I'm being stalked. I was even told by a family member that I'm not hot enough to be stalked, which is just insane. Who are you surrounded by, girl? Like, who are your family members? Not hot enough to be stalked is crazy. Like, I hate to break it to you, whoever this family member is, you're a little empty-headed. Like, you don't have to be a Victoria's Secret model to be stalked. That's not necessarily what causes stalking. I don't have words for that. I don't have a way to respond to that because that's just nonsensical. That is just coming from someone who's like, I mean, in the nicest way possible, whose brain does not work. I don't know. I just need to be told I'm not actually crazy, and this does sound like stalking. Before we get into the comments, I'm gonna revert back to what I just said. In my opinion, and now look, this is coming from a 30-year-old man, right? So obviously I'm gonna have a different perspective on all of this than you will as a 19-year-old girl. I don't think this is stalking yet. I think that this is some guy with some type of serious mental condition who is clearly not socially aware at all. And so was doing very strange things at your place of work. I have no idea why he was at the playground at your place. I really don't. That is very strange. But I feel like after everything that's happened, it's right on the edge of being a serious issue. And once again, this is coming from me, a 30-year-old man, so I have a completely different perspective on all of it. This is right before the level of being something to be taken very seriously. I think if one more thing happens that is directly related to you as an individual, not him just being weird at the store doing something with someone else, but if something else happens with him directly connected to you, then I would say it'd be hard to argue that he is not targeting you. But as of right now, I feel like you have to continue living your life. You can't let what he's doing stop you from working, stop you from walking your dog, stop you from doing anything else. But if you notice one more weird thing that is directly targeting you, get the police involved. Don't call the non-emergency line. Call the emergency line and be like, yeah, this guy's stalking me. I need to take legal action. Bada bing, bada boom. That's my 2 cents at least. But like I said, 30-year-old man, you're a 19-year-old girl, completely different perspectives, and I respect that. Let's see what the comments say. Your mom said the exact wrong thing. You should not be flattered. You are right to be worried. If you drive, ask your manager for someone to walk you to your car. Start taking different routes home. If you use public transportation, get off a stop or two early or late. If you ever catch this man following you, go directly to police station. The other commenter is correct. Have your manager ban this person from the store. Actually, I think that's a great comment. Because, like I said, I don't want to use you as bait, but by doing all those things, you do kind of keep yourself a lot safer, while at the same time, keeping an eye on this guy to see if he is actually doing anything that is targeting you. And if he is, like this guy said in the comments, go directly to the police again with actual evidence of reason to believe you are being stalked or this guy is a threat to you. Yeah, great comment. Yes, as a father of daughters, I was appalled by your mom. Trust your instincts. Call the cops, contact HR, and create a paper trail. Eventually, some authority will come to their senses and ban him from the store or arrest him. Always trust your instincts. Guys, this is important. Always trust your instincts. If your gut is telling you something, your gut is often correct. Trust your instincts. Trust your gut. Yes. Another great comment. The world is effing terrible, so better to be safe. The world is dangerous. The world is cruel. It is better to be safe. You have to watch out for yourself, and you have to trust your gut. You have to trust your instincts. If you feel like something is wrong, if you feel like this man means you harm, then, I mean, as this person said, it is better safe than sorry. I hope this is all cleared up for you. I hope Carl has left you alone, and I really hope Carl has not been spotted at any more children's playgrounds, because creepy ass Carl, CAC. Creepy ass Carl, Jeffrey.